Many organizations today are investing in API management tools. They're relatively new, been around for the last 3 or 4 years, and they're really good tools. They're very effective at building integration quickly and tying into your back-end systems and your software as a service and other components as well. The problem is a lot of organizations haven't really thought out how they want to use the API management or how they want to use APIs even. So a key part of that is building really the strategy for what APIs mean to you. And again, this starts with the business. You might say, okay, what are these APIs that we would like to build in order to engage with our suppliers? What are they? What are our competitors doing in this space? So how do we build a strategy for APIs focused on suppliers, and then execute on that strategy? It might also be with customers. A lot of people will be allowing customers to integrate and organize through APIs, so that can be another element of this. And sometimes you're trying to just encourage others to connect to your APIs to wire it into their own applications. Sometimes we see with API management that companies will fail to recognize the full value of the tool. And there's a couple different parts to a good API manager. One of the key parts is most of them offer some kind of a developer portal or API catalog tool. That is just used by your developers, but it's very powerful because, I always tell people you can't reuse something that you can't find. So these portals are really important to help your developers find what APIs are available. And it can include all the documentation they need in order to implement that API. It can allow them to request access in your training or your testing environments in order to use the API. So the developer portal is a really key part of the API management tool. There's also really the API manager itself, and this is the component that lets you manage how that is used. You can do throttling and controls that help avoid somebody overusing an API and bringing down your website. And you can even monetize that. So I've worked with companies that have established a gold, silver, and bronze level of partnership. And maybe at the bronze level, you can do 1,000 API transactions a day. The silver, you've got to do a higher level of qualification, or you might even start to pay fees to connect to those APIs. So the tool allows you to build that in and throttle right away by user essentially how much they're allowed to do. And it allows you to do the billing and that sort of thing if you're trying to monetize the tool. The third area around the API management tools is what's called the API gateway. And this is really the security implementation. This is what secures the API and says who has access to it, in which environments, a really important part. And it's the real-time component also that is executing at runtime to protect those APIs, because they, often you are exposing these externally. You need to make sure they're secure. You need to make sure you've built that correctly and use that gateway effectively.